All right, let's see what other questions we have. Mind Boggling has a question. Do men normally tend to open up after being intimate, like share a side of vulnerability about them that takes you aback? This is a great question. So I want to differentiate between the men who are just driven by the sexual desire of ejaculating. Okay, all they care about is their own needs. I would say for those men, it's an ego trip to have sex. It's for their own ego. Mostly, if they're thinking about your pleasure, it's because it's an ego boost for them, and also the desire of ejaculation. Those the men that are, let's just say, are in it for themselves. Okay. Now, if we're talking about a man who's genuinely in love with you, genuinely cares about you, genuinely wants to build a life with you when he's coming from a heart-centered space, I think this is where you can see the most vulnerability within a man. Now, even the man who's just in it for the ejaculation, he will feel vulnerable because he's literally, there's a release of endorphins, there's a release of different chemicals that happens when we ejaculate. But when a man is genuinely in love with you, genuinely cares about your well-being, genuinely wants the best for you, he might be so radically vulnerable in that moment when he's holding you that he might share his deepest, darkest secret with you. I mean, that's quite possible. And I say this from personal experience. I once, in my last significant relationship, I shared something very vulnerable, very private, very intimate to my life. And just because my heart was open, and I trusted this person. Now, was that a little bit too early to do that? Yeah, probably. Thankfully, I was a good judge of character because I shared something very personal to my life, to her. I was very vulnerable. And there's no doubt when a man is physically intimate with a woman who's genuinely coming from a heart-centered space, he could be very vulnerable and open his heart. And it could take you aback. It might catch you off guard. But folks, I'm here to, this video was here to encourage, let's just have some more open dialogue instead of this fantasy way of being in relationship that everything is magically going to work out, because magic fairy dust always works out. I'm here to encourage more deeper, open communication with you and a partner, because that's the real juice of a relationship, is the emotional side, because we no longer are in need of transactional relationships, or at least most of us don't need that. It's all about connecting at a heart-centered level, or at least that's my invitation for everyone, to operate from a heart-centered level. And Awaken to Yoga wants to add, that was interesting what you said about guys who are trying to get you to orgasm from an ego place. I dated someone like that and I couldn't figure out why it felt weird. Now I know why. Yeah, I'm by the way, I'm guilty of this, okay? I want you to know, Awaken to Yoga, I'm guilty of this. I mean, there's something about, I would say, a lot of men who actually focus on giving you pleasure. Oftentimes it's for their ego boost. It's their ego boost. Now, when a man genuinely loves you, when a man genuinely wants you in his life, he wants to, to please you, he's doing it from a genuine heart-centered space. And it's okay if you don't orgasm. It's okay, because he's not attached to that idea when he genuinely, deeply loves you. But he has to reach that place of deep love. And again, as I said earlier, a lot of men are just hyper-focused on sex for their own pleasure, and they get pleasure when you get off. And that's not necessarily the type of conversation that I'm talking about today. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating with you? Please let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what I just shared. Post a comment below. I'd like to hear if what I just shared made a difference in your life. I want to hear about it. So thank you so much. Okay. Hey, RM Bells just gave us a $3 super sticker. Thank you for the love. Mind blowing bongling says, yes, communication is key. Thank you, Jonathan.